there, comic book friends. I'm Travis, and it's new comic book day, or at least it's new comic book day for me. 21 books this week. It's Thursday. I know it's like some sort of weird shipping miracle. My books got sent out a day early, so I got them on Thursday instead of getting them on Friday. So despite the season, I got my books early even, so that's awesome. I'll be able to casually read all of them as opposed to power reading them, which is great. Quick note before I get talking new comic books, of course. First, if you haven't noticed, I continue to have problems with Comic Book Roundtable. It seems that when I go to fire that thing up, I get shut down for violating community rules in some sense. You've seen the other videos talking about it, but that continues to be a thing. I don't know what this week will be like. Hopefully, young Fred will be on the show tonight or this week. Hopefully, Mike Sergeant America will be on the show this week. Hopefully, Rez Reeves will be on the show this week, and hopefully the show will be on my channel. If not, we'll bounce it to Rez or whoever else wants to host it, and we'll kind of roll with that if that's what happens again. I'm hoping that it won't happen again 3 weeks in a row. I don't know. I don't know what to do after that because there's not like a real way to communicate with YouTube to have a conversation to figure out what's going on, what the problem is, or whatever. So there's that. And also speaking of other internet type things, if you live here in the United States, you may have heard today, December 14th, 2017, that the FCC chose to no longer enforce net neutrality rules. I bring this up not in a political fashion, but just in a fashion in that potentially, if that continues to go along, none of this stuff may happen anymore. Who knows what YouTube will cost us as just casual users to use this thing? And I'm assuming most of you that are watching this are casual users like I am. You're not somebody who's trying to make a business out of it. And heck, I don't even know what it's going to do for the people who are truly attempting to make a business out of being on YouTube. But I can guarantee you that if all this costs me a bunch of extra to do, I'm not going to do it. I'll figure out something else. But yeah, I mean, if the internet becomes this expensive thing, so I encourage you to contact your Congress people and let them know that they should stop this because they have the ability to stop it. They have the ability to say, well, we want to, pump the brakes on getting rid of those regulations and whatnot to keep everything a level playing field. If you want to know all the details, clearly it's all over the internet. You can check it out, but it'll affect most of us. I'd rather spend my money on comics or other fun things than spend it on trying to fight with the internet to get my content out, to have a conversation or whatever. I'll figure something else out ultimately if need be, but controlling the pipelines that the internet moves on would be disastrous, I think, for most of us. So like I said, encourage you to contact them and make your voice heard. Unless you're a big multi-corporation who controls internet, then obviously, yay, this is all going to be good news for you. But I mean, it's going to affect, if you're into those Marvel Netflix shows, it's going to affect those ultimately. It's going to affect the YouTube stuff. If you're a digital comic book reader, I'm assuming it's going to affect you there. I think it's potentially could affect me in the fact that when I want to go to Discount Comic Book Service and order my comics, that's all internet driven, and who knows what that'll be. If you're someplace that has lots of competitors, that's awesome. I live someplace that doesn't have a lot of competitors, so a lot of competition. So clearly they can control whatever they want to and allow us to see what we want or don't want to see. Anyway, don't want to get too deep in that. Just throwing it out there. You like this format. I like it. I like being able to talk and watch other people's videos and see what other people are doing comic book wise and whatnot. You like this format. We need to do things to protect it. So anyway, that being said, we're talking new comic books. Like I said, 21 books this week. Big week. It seems like there's 2 weeks now that most of my comics come, and then there's the other 2 or 3 weeks depending on what it is. So let's jump right into what we have to talk about. Issue number 4 of Retcon. This is the final issue of the series. I've been digging the art. Last issue kind of I really felt like really upped the storyline as far as what's going on. Kind of surprised though that it's all going to end in one issue. So I'm assuming it's just going to end badly, because that would be the easiest way to sum this whole thing up in a single issue. I don't know if this means there's no more. This just kind of ends the story, or somewhere down the road these guys want to write more or whatever. I'll pick it up. I like the world. It's been kind of interesting. And of course, the Toby Cypress art is really cool, so I get it for that, right? Get it for the art, nothing else. Kid Lobotomy, issue number 3, right? Issue number 3? Yes, issue number 3. Really like this book. I love all the literary references that are in it, and the other exploration type stuff that goes on. I'm amused and intrigued and want to know what's going on in this hotel with this whole lobotomy therapy stuff, and eating chunks of brain and all the other kind of crazy things that are going on in the book. What's next? Where all are we going to go? It almost feels like Doom Patrol in a way, and that it's just kind of crazy. You're not sure exactly where it's going, except it doesn't have the the star superhero characters. Not that there's any heroics in this by any means, just that it's kind of just on this head trip kind of a ride, and we as the readers get to go along and enjoy it, and I have been. I've thoroughly enjoyed the first 2 issues. Looking forward to seeing what that is going to be like. So, and back is Rumble, except they're just literally calling it Rumble issue number 1. So I don't know what I think of that, because of course Rumble has already been out. I own pages of art from Rumble by James Herron. Now Dave Rubin is on art on this. Not sure how many books Dave Rubin can be doing at one time. Still Dave Stewart doing the wonderful colors on it. Of course, John Arcudi doing the writing. I don't know. It's a number 1. It doesn't say number 1 volume 2 on anywhere. It just says number 1. Not sure what I think about that. I look forward to reading it, seeing what's going on. Clearly, it's got some of our same characters in it. Is it going to be the same story? How does Rubin handle translating somebody else's character and making their own, or is he just a hired gun now, and rights are still owned by Arcudi and Herring? I don't know. So I'll be curious to all that stuff out. Excited to have the book back. It's been gone for a long time. I have no idea why James Herring isn't still on the book. That's unfortunate, I think, but still looking forward to checking it out and whatnot. I like the characters. I like kind of the interesting concept and whatnot, but I really like the eye candy of the James Herring art. So I don't know. Not that I have anything wrong with Dave Rubin. I like Dave Rubin, but a lot of these independent books, because art is such a super important part of the comic book, that is its identity, is the art. And so we change art, it changes the identity of the book, right? So we'll see if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Wicked and Divine. This is the Christmas annual. No idea what's going to actually be in this. It's got McNeil art inside it. I know that, I think. So we'll see. No idea exactly what the Christmas annual is going to be like. But it's the thing that comes out in between arcs. So see what that's going to be like. Samurai Jack, Quantum Jack. I've been liking the Samurai Jack, Quantum Jack stuff. Mostly, of course, for the Johnson Cadwell art. It's just been fun. Last issue had lots of luchadors in it and wrestling type stuff and whatnot. Now it looks like we maybe are going to get some giant robots, because there's like a cargo ship down there. So giant robots and sea monsters. So we'll see what that's be like. It's just been fun. Not that there's anything, I don't know, earth-shattering about the book, but it's been fun in a way that it has some elements that are Samurai Jack, but it is of its own thing. And of course, like I said, the Johnson Cadwell art really lends itself well to the style of Samurai Jack anyway. So that's pretty cool. Let's open up another one of these. For some reason, they packed them in 3 little bags this time. I don't know what's up with that. But The Damned, issue number what? 6? Yes, issue number 6. The Prodigal Sons. So we'll see what happens next in this. I did finish the first trade, so I got more information about these characters and whatnot. Nothing that you needed to have had to be reading the singles of this, clearly. but I am really curious to see where this goes. I just really enjoy Colin Bunn, Brian Hurt together. Bill Crabtree doing the coloring on it. You know, the Six Gun Crew has another great book here. I like Six Gun better, but that's because I like westerns and that kind of odd mythology. That story, that reality is more interesting to me than the gangsters are. But I do like the devil stuff in here, the demons and the bartering of souls, and there's clearly some other mythical kind of things that are rolling along through it and whatnot. It's interesting. Our main character is this guy who can be killed when he can see this other realm while he's dead. But if any other human touches him, then they take on his wounds and he comes back to life and they're dead. So he's quasi-immortal. So it's kind of some interesting stuff. And he's doing some wheeling and dealing with demons. So I'm curious to see where that goes. Issue number 2 of Brilliant Trash. I wasn't totally sold on issue number 1. It was all right. There were elements about it I thought that were strange. Some that I thought were kind of interesting. You know, on the round table, Rez brought up the last kind of like independent superhero book that Tim Seeley was on, The Sundowners, which I ultimately loved that book, partially because of the art, but I ultimately loved that book, so it made me dial back some of my dislike of the first issue of this. So I'll give it a few issues to see where it is and whatnot, because I may get surprised somewhere. Though, like I said, the art in Sundowners was much stronger and stylized than what this is. Not that this is bad from Priscilla, but yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I wasn't totally sold on that first issue, but I'll check a few out. The main Animosity book, issue number 11. Of course, they're going to have to deal with the Hive, this big giant thing of bees. You know, and the place that they're in right now is clearly not a good place to be. There's just kind of some insidious innuendos going on. So always kind of curious to see where Jess and Saldo end up going with the book. So New Superman, issue number 18. So end of an era. I think this is the final issue of it just being called New Superman. Then it becomes, I think, like New Superman and the China Justice League, or the China Justice League and New Superman, or something along those kinds of lines. Look forward to checking out. I've really enjoyed New Superman. I like the original artist on the book the best. Sometimes the art has been shaky somewhere in between. We'll see how this issue ends up being. But I've just really, really enjoyed this. Great character. I love the kind of stuff going on in China. These kind of knockoff characters of the Justice League are all interesting. They mimic their American halves, but in a interesting kind of way, and I do enjoy that. I enjoy that kind of a play on stuff, because they really are their own people and have their own motivations and whatnot. So just really, really, really good stuff. Grass Kings, issue number 10. I continue to just be really interested in this book. I don't know that it's like mind-blowingly interesting, but I really like it. I'm curious to see what's going on. I'm curious about this supposed serial killer living amongst the people here of the grasslands, and what does that mean, and what are all these people about? It's a shoot, cannot remember the book now. It's a book of poetry that has to do with an entire town, and each poem has to do with the people that are in it, and you learn who they are through these small little stories. Not that this is poetry, but it's kind of the same way, in that we get these little stories that give us more background on these just odd characters that live in the grasslands, that live in this town, basically. And I'm assuming as we learn these kind of back pieces of story, it's going to start putting pieces of a larger puzzle together for us. And I'm enjoying that. I'm really digging it for those elements of it. It's something Spoon. Can't remember that book of poetry. Oh well. Nobody cares but me. Jenny Finn, issue number 2 of 4. Love the Magnolia cover, of course. We'll see what goes on in it. There's some crazy stuff. Jenny Finn, possesses people, heals people, or kills people, or corrupts people. There's weird fish stuff on them, and tentacles, and barnacles, and all that kind of crazy stuff. Who knows? It's clearly a horror comic in some sense. We'll see what that ends up playing out like with issue 2. I think the Jenny Finn is a reprint. I think there must be an original Jenny Finn, it feels like, because I've seen advertisements that imply that the book has been recolored, or has been colored now by Dave Stewart, which cool. So I keep forgetting to look up to see if there's anything else there. New from Boom Studios is Judas. This is one of 4. I'm assuming that's what that is. You know, kind of biblical terminology there. Jeff Lovelace and Jakub Rebelka. I am a big Judas Iscariot fan. Dun dun dun. What does that make me? Largely probably because of Jesus Christ Superstar. I just kind of buy into the whole idea that maybe Judas kind of got screwed, that he kind of got set up. He, you know, was kind of a tool for a higher purpose or whatever. I like that story. I like that idea. No idea exactly what this is going to be about, other than clearly it's about Judas. I'm into reading any Judas kind of stories that pop up. Comic books, even cooler. So I'm just curious to see what this is going to be. Find out what this first issue is going to be like, exploring Judas in some sense. I have no clue. So check out Comic Book Roundtable, and I'll give my thoughts on that. And finally, my third little bundle of books here. Time to hurry up because I know I'm getting long in the tooth here. Yes, probably the first book I will read, Mr. Miracle, issue number 5. I got the variant cover, the Gerard's cover. Heart me some big Barda. So looking forward to checking this out. I love this book. I love everything about it. I love the mystery. I love the unknown. I love the quirks of it. It's just, so far, 4 issues has just been awesome. The carrot dipping, all that kind of stuff, just been superb stuff. Astro. Issue number 3. First issue is kind of vulgar Harry Potter. Second issue, kind of surprisingly, our main character gets all his power, and he sets about doing massive amounts of good. It kind of hits all the sweet spots of, if I had all the power in the world, I would do all this stuff to make it better for everybody. Kind of thing is happening, and then at the end of the issue, he gets cracked on the back of the head by somebody that I wasn't expecting to crack him in the back of the head. So and steal some stuff from him. So we'll see what happens next. I'm actually interested in the book now, where after the first issue, I was kind of like, yeah, okay, I'm not sure. Beautiful, beautiful art by David Strokes, of course. But I wasn't sure, was it going to have something beyond just the art? What was this? Was it going to be enough of a fantasy story to keep me interested? But with the end of issue 2, I'm interested now. So we'll see where they take that story. If they take that plot someplace or not, to keep me interested. We'll see. Batman Detective Comics, issue number something, 970. And we're going to deal with the Victim Syndicate again. See, I'm already missing the chapter titles there somewhere. I do dig this, but I'm missing the chapter titles. So here we are. It looks like they're going to hammer Clayface maybe largely in this one. So we'll see how that plays out. Are we going to lose Clayface as the hero? We finally going to get some real story with Clayface. They flirted with it at the beginning of Rebirth, and have kind of then since largely dropped any real meaningful story with Clayface beyond him just basically being a living Batman utility belt kind of a thing. So hopefully we're gonna get that. We'll get that story now. So get some real Clayface story, because that's a wonderful character, wonderful way they got the guy set up. They should do something with it now. So the final issue of Bug. I've just been kind of looking at the pretty pictures for the last issue and a half. And that's probably, I'll just look at the pretty pictures this one too. Beautiful art by Allred, but I just finished it out because it was 6 issues. But the story was getting, other than the guest appearances that were in the books, to kind of, winking and nodding all these other Kirby characters, it was largely who cares for most of the story for me. So, unfortunately. So, better be at the bottom of the pile. Be at the bottom of the pile. If I get to it, I get to it. I don't. Port of Earth, which of course I picked up the first issue because of the Andre Muti art. I really liked his art in Rebels, so I wanted to see what this was going to be like. It was okay. Nothing special, but it was okay. I like his rocks and trees and vegetation better than technology and that sort of stuff, I guess. So much so, and the story was kind of like, I don't know, that I didn't order it. So like maybe I get another issue depending on when I ordered it versus when it comes out. So clearly, if I read issue 2 and issue 2 just like, oh wow, this is all the extra stuff they're gonna do with this book. If that happens, I'll have to scramble to hunt down the issues that I did not that I missed because I didn't order it. But I just have a feeling that's not gonna be the case. But I could be wrong. Could be proven wrong. Read and find out. Issue 3 of Ragman. Of course, continue to completely dig the art. The Miranda art is and De La Cruz on colors, just wonderful. Reading this story for what it is, I'm intrigued. I am interested. Not my Ragman back in the day, but we'll see what it's like. And we also get the demon in this issue, so that'll be pretty awesome too. So eye candy wise, this is gonna be freaking awesome as far as that goes. I actually enjoyed the last issue once I kind of got over the whole how Ragman is now. So yeah, actually gonna be probably enjoy reading that. Looking forward to checking it out. And Red Hood and the Outlaws, issue number 17. We get some fresh recruits for the Suicide Squad, so we'll see what that ends up playing out like. I love this snowfall cover here, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure why the Suicide Squad keeps leaking into all the other books, but they sure seem to. So I don't know what I think of that, but I have been enjoying Red Hood and the Outlaws. And Royal City. This is issue number 8. We're still back in the early 90s, I believe. Just kind of exploring all the kids and the family pre-Tommy dying. We got, the issues have had some good Tommy stuff in it to give us a sense of who Tommy is, what maybe he has going on. So that's all interesting stuff. Just love kind of exploring this family in this town and elements of it. So forward to checking that out. Last couple issues have been really, really good. And finally, this time is I'm still reading Michael Cray. This is issue number 3. I really am thinking if this issue doesn't really do something for me, I will quit ordering it. I believe this is supposed to go on for 12 issues, but I don't need to read it for a year if it's going to be a kind of a boring slog. And it you can kind of already tell what's going to happen. He gets introduced to a alternate reality person who is named after a superhero from the DC universe, has some elements of that superhero. He defeats them in some fashion and then moves on to the next one. Seems to be, at least with the issue 1 and 2 is that way. Hinted at in this issue we were going to get a Flash type person. So we'll kind of see from there exactly how that all plays out. And that is it. That's my 21 books. We'll see how many of them I get read. Funny thing is, lots of times when I have lots of time to read the book, then I end up doing everything but reading the books. But anyway, we'll see how that is. Thanks for watching. Hopefully there will be a comic book roundtable on Saturday. If it's not on my channel, I'll zip out a really quick video to let you know where it is. If you want to go there to check out the comic book roundtable, it'll be in some fashion regardless. So anyway, thanks for watching once again, and I will see you later on in the week.